All right, it's Sunday, February 26th. Aloha. Leaving an impression. Leaving your mark. People may forget the best man's speech at the wedding, but the drunk guy who made a fool of himself gets talked about for a while, a long time. He gets talked about forever. Probably even every anniversary. It's like, dang. You remember Joe? Like, he's not forgotten. Like, leaving your mark. Or maybe making a speech. Or music. Controversial. So controversial that the mark you're leaving gets you shot in the back. It happens here in America. It's known to happen. There's a flag that says, "Don't tread on me," with a rattlesnake on it. Here in Nashville, that flag is on a whole lot of license plates. Just saying. I've been in the wood with those rattlesnakes. They aren't like the water moccasin or my old dog Dexter. That dog of mine and that old water moccasin, they give no warning. They just bite. At least that old rattlesnake gives a warning. Or maybe the impression you want to leave is skid marks on your best friend's toilet. Or on their road. Both come from a burnout. Whether it's pushing the pedal to the metal, or it's that old F-250 power stroke, or it's doubling down on Taco Tuesday, baby. Both will leave a burnout. Skid marks. People tend to remember the skid marks, especially if they have to scrub it clean. Brothers Osborne, one of my favorite bands out there right now, they do one hell of a concert. TJ and John are freaking amazing. Probably the best concert that I've been to. Right there at in Houston at the Pavilion, whatever that Pavilion is in Houston. And TJ and John rocked that son of a gun out. They have a song right now called "Nobody's Nobody." The sun goes up, the sun goes down, takes all kinds to make this world go round. Everybody, somebody, someone, a sinner, saint, or son of a gun. Everybody's someone. Right? Great song. So do like my dog Dexter does when I take him for a walk. Leave your mark everywhere you go. Dogs have a funny way of leaving their mark. I'm going to say that again. Dogs have a funny way of leaving their mark. They mark their territory. We don't quite do it the same way. Or I guess we could. I'm not recommending to do it the same way Dexter does. It could be advice that would get you arrested. Or if you're a hot drunk chick, you could get picked up. If you are a hot drunk chick trying to leave your mark the way my dog Dexter does, you just might get picked up. It could happen. So be careful out there. Be careful outside the bar, ladies, if you're trying to leave your mark the way Dexter does. Squatting, thinking, I'm going to leave my mark. They won't forget me. Old Frank peeks around the corner. Damn. Lacey is one drink away from all her ambitions, morals, and cares being thrown out the window. I bet she'll go home with me. So I don't advise everybody to leave their mark the way Dexter does. It could be taken the wrong way. All kinds of ways to leave a lasting impression, and sometimes crap floats. Cream always rises, but sometimes caca floats. Like if the cream and the caca are at the top of the same tank fighting to get to the top, I bet the dookie doesn't care if the cream touches it. But I bet the cream can't stand being close to the turd. Because both the cream and the turd floats. Kind of sounds like folks climbing the corporate ladder. You have the people who are late, miss work, hide while they're at work, just kind of getting promoted. Then you have the punctual folks, just knocking out all the projects, just working their tail off. The cream and the turds rising to the top. The cream don't want to be around the turds, but the turds don't mind being around the cream. Does everybody think like this? Am I connecting dots that make sense? I believe my own lies. Sometimes. Does that make me part woman? We all have women in our life telling us how everybody else is their problem. You know, itches. The itches. Bah, 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 bah. Don't you just tell that woman she's wrong? No, sir. You don't tell her she's wrong. You just listen. Agree. I mean, even if it's a lie, you listen. If you believe the lie, well, is it your truth? I believe my own lies. You probably believe your own lies. Ever feel like if you aren't running in circles, you're not even trying? Like there's only two speeds? Rest, lazy, or like a dang hamster on a wheel? There's only two speeds. Rest or a hamster on a wheel. Bruce Springsteen song, Born in the USA. Born in the USA. Such a great song. I think J-Lo sang that song with her daughter at the Super Bowl one year. I'm pretty sure she did. I think they say 15% of the people do 90% of the work at most companies. Or maybe I just made that up. That's for you to figure that out. Sounds right for bigger companies. I don't know. You figure that out. That isn't so for a mom and pop crawfish farm or a small dairy farm. They do all the work. Small companies do all the work. But big companies, 15% of the people do 90% of the work. It's all about numbers, man. Fibonacci sequence. The movie to the Matrix. If you go to prison, you're just a number. Social Security. Heck, even a book in the Bible. Numbers. Nature balances itself using percentages. There were 12 disciples plus Jesus. That's where we got the lucky number 13. Jesus was the first lucky number 13 for the next 2,000 years. We have not even put 13 floors on buildings. Matthew, first floor. Mark, second floor. Shoot, nobody wants to be on the Jesus 13th floor, so let's just skip that one. Am I making sense? If this isn't making sense to you, I recommend that you trying out some TED Talks. Those TED Talks are so great. If this isn't for you, go listen to some TED Talks or NPR radio. I can't imagine they would ever let me do a TED Talk or NPR radio interview. Maybe a Howard Stern interview. Maybe a Nights with Alice Cooper. Love Nights with Alice Cooper. When I was on Maui, I loved listening to Nights with Alice Cooper. He does a great show. Or maybe Ted Nugent. They probably wouldn't let Ted Nugent on a TED Talk. What the heck? Do you think they'd let Ted Nugent on a TED Talk? He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, but would they let him on a TED Talk? It was a great podcast. He's a wild man. He's one of the ones that brought hog hunting from a helicopter to Texas. They were having that infestation of hogs, which they're having in Louisiana, Mississippi, and I don't know where else now. We never had hog problems in Louisiana. The hogs tearing up everything, running the deers off. Whatever. The hogs are tearing up everything. But because there were so many hogs, he actually had to do some political things to make it happen. But now you can hunt hogs from a dang helicopter in Texas. Because of Ted Nugent. Probably not National Public Radio material. Because of Ted Nugent, not NPR radio, he feeds thousands of vets with the hogs he hunts from helicopters. He does something good with the meat from the over too many hogs. So pee on a tree, tell a speech that might get you shot, sing a song, so controversial. Be the cream or be the turd floating to the top. Feed the needy vets. Introduce hog hunting in a helicopter. Or maybe your style would be really good for a TED Talk. Or maybe your style would be really good for an NPR radio announcement. Just do what you do. Brothers Osborne said it best. Nobody's nobody. Just be the best you can be at all possible times. What do you want to do? What keeps somebody going? A builder, building houses, a doctor, a drug dealer, a stay-at-home mom, an actor, a comedian, a singer. What keeps people going? For some folks, it's their family. They love spending time and doing stuff with their family. For some folks, it's money. Buying stuff, flexing their newest toys. For some folks, it's drinking on the weekend. Work all week, drink all weekend. For some folks, it's just getting high. There are documentaries on when COVID kicked off, how homeless drug addicts took over the streets just living to get high. They literally had people moving out to California to live on the street just to smoke crack and shoot heroin. Seriously. Actors, musicians, athletes, strippers love attention. Just a getting high on attention. Husbands, They stay so damn busy because that old wife of theirs will aggravate them to death at home. Been there. It's safer to be at a job that you hate than at home, to be at home with that woman. Dinner and a movie? Yeah, great time. But 8 hours a day? 5 days a week? I don't think so, Jack. I'd take 40 hours a week at work and 6 hours a weekend with the lady any day. I think the female elephants figured it out first. See, the female elephants and the babies stay living by the river where it's nice and comfortable. They have like a nest. When the males get to a certain age, the females kick them out, and the males have to go live out in the wild alone because the males can't get along. And the females won't let them live in their campground. They only let the males around when it's time to breed. Hanky-panky, hanky-panky, hanky-panky. So the males wander out in the wild, fighting each other over territory, just out there all alone, fighting each other over which one they gonna make babies with. Alone, while all the females and the babies all have their home. But what keeps me going? Well, I know what keeps me going, and it's not really all bundled up into one thing. I've invested all my love, what I live for, into one thing or one person before. That first true love. When I lost my first true love, my whole world fell apart. Quite frankly, the fear of an emotional collapse like that happens again is so scary that it has taught me to learn to find happiness in small things and spread it out widely. So I'll always have other places to turn when something happens. My children, my family, music, writing, networking, money, things. I have goals and I have career plans that will work out. But it's not all that I live for. Kind of like that first real girlfriend. All you ever think about. Which some gals will have that effect on you. I couldn't handle not being with that girl. The first weekend, she went away to Astroworld on her school trip. I couldn't handle it. I just missed her too much. So I decided to surprise her and show up in Houston, in Astroworld. My uncle lived in Houston, so I could leave Baton Rouge, or Clinton. I'm from Clinton. I left Clinton, drove to Houston, went to stay with him, and was just going to surprise her, right? I had a place to stay. But then the teacher was like, oh, this is a school trip. Your boyfriend can't come. It's a good thing I had old Uncle Stan. I think I ate that pizza too soon out the oven. The top of my mouth is burnt. Oh, gosh. Anyways, women. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. I have a handful of women in my life that I love. And I know they love me. Family. They say behind every great man is a good woman. And I've been blessed to have a few in my life. They'll push your buttons and instill a drive in you to better yourself and to do great things. Peace out. Adios.